hour, 10 minutes, and we'll go on. Complete.
You will keep going until you get
To the border, then to Vienna, then to Germany. We won't stop. Our target isn't here. Our target is to get Germany, to our mom, our Merkel.
You want to go to Germany, to Angela Merkel?
Yeah, Angela Merkel is our mom.
And
mom.
how many people do you think are in this march? I think maybe it's a few hundred, maybe 1,000.
No, 1,000 people, maybe 4,000 people.
Okay.
You can't see the last people.
Sure, I don't think it's quite that many, but maybe it is.
No, you can't see the last.
They are still coming, Ben. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of people. They're marching down the hard shoulder, the safety lane on this motorway. This is the main motorway out of Budapest towards the Austrian border, the M1. And on the other side of the road, trucks and vans and cars are all slowing down to watch. And of course, there is very little traffic being able to move on this road at the moment. The police have moved most of the traffic off. It's a busy time of day, Friday evening. And yet, yes, an awful lot of marchers. Maybe it's several thousand. I don't think it's quite that many. Certainly over 1,000. Many of them with yellow hats on, making their presence felt here, and also making their message felt that they want to get out of Hungary and move on to the countries that they would prefer to settle in.
And Matthew, I mean, in a way, I know you were at this railway station earlier on today. I've been here all day. It's not surprising these people simply ran out of patience, because they've simply been waiting here for days and days, and they have their tickets, many of them, but there are just no trains going anywhere for them.
Remember that this is something that's been happening for several years now. It's just that the sheer volume of people hasn't brought along so much concentrated media coverage at one time. But there's been an awful lot of Italian railway stations over the last couple of years which have seen similar scenes to the one in Budapest. And also remember that when the cameras are not around, this is a scene that is being repeated in many places. I've spoken earlier today to a Syrian family who have been travelling for the last month since they got on one of those inflatable dinghies on the Turkish coast, and they say thankfully made it across to Greece. And you know, they describe scenes of going through the countryside in Serbia, in Macedonia, to force their way through the border crossings, having tear gas fired at them. All these sort of scenes which are now being played out very publicly here on the motorways of Hungary.
Matthew, thank you very much indeed. Matthew Price there, who's with those refugees, most of them Syrians, walking, as he was saying, up the motorway towards Austria. Well, let's talk now to William Spindler, who's spokesman for the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR. Thank you very much for being with us, Mr. Spindler. Can I ask you first of all about the British Prime Minister David Cameron's announcement today that Britain will be taking more refugees, thousands of Syrian refugees. Do you welcome that?
Yes, of course, we welcome it. This was a very important step. We want all countries in Europe to play a part in solving this refugee crisis. These are refugees who will be coming from countries such as Jordan, Turkey, and Lebanon into Britain, and we are in discussions with the Home Office for more details. But of course, this is something that we welcome, and we would like to see more countries accepting Syrian refugees.
There is this disparity, isn't there? We've got Germany that is offering to take 800,000, and Britain, which until now had only taken this year a couple of hundred. So a huge mismatch between different countries and what they're doing.
This is part of the problem. What we see now is each country reacting to this situation in isolation and in a kind of piecemeal way. You have some countries like Hungary closing their borders and putting barbed wire fences and trying to keep refugees away. We have other countries such as Germany and Sweden that have very generous policies towards refugees. And this situation is too difficult and too large for a single country to deal with, whether that country is Greece or Italy or Hungary or even Germany. What we would like is a more coordinated approach from the whole of the European Union, where every country plays a part in this, and this is the only way to deal with this refugee crisis.
I think the UNHCR has been saying Britain will take 4,000 Syrian refugees. Is that enough in your view? Would you like to see a bigger figure?
Well, that figure has not been confirmed by the British government yet, but Britain has also taken Syrian asylum seekers as well. We want all countries in Europe to play a part. This is the only way to deal with this situation. It's very distressing what is happening at the moment, where people who are fleeing the carnage in Syria are being met with riot police and tear gas and barbed wire. We want a proper welcome for people who are desperately looking for protection, who are coming to Europe, asking for Europe to give this protection, and Europe needs to really come up with the response that is necessary to deal with this, as it has in the past. Let's not forget that there have been previous refugee crisis in Europe. There was the situation in the Balkans in the 90s, and in Hungary, which is now the images you're showing at the moment. In 1956, hundreds of thousands of Hungarians fled the country, and they were very quickly relocated to other European countries. So we would like Europe to do what it did in the past, to successfully work together to deal with a refugee crisis that is going on
thank you very much
at the moment.
Thank you very much indeed, William Spindler from the United Nations Refugee Agency. Well, these refugees you can see here behind me at Budapest railway station are about to bed down for the night. They don't have much food, they don't have much water, and their dream of going to Germany seems to be as distant as ever. Back to you now in the studio.
Ben Brown live in